We speed west into a bank of mottled clouds and blue-black sky, and not much else. We drip with sweat. The launch site is 2 miles back and counting. The barn where the light is on and the guys are waiting to hear if everything's okay. We try to talk to one another. We shout and scream, but our words get shredded by motor noise, by a sound like a blender gone berserk, whirring and rising to a blast-off pitch. There are 4 of us in here. Me, a woman named Jen Danzinger, and 2 men. The men are in front, firing questions at each other in quick bursts. I'm in back with Jen. She braces a hand against the door. Headlights blaze by in the oncoming lane. I wonder how much the other driver noticed. Maybe just a silvery bulge, maybe our vehicle's whole weird shape. Elongated fuselage, tapering tail. Does he have any idea what the hell he just passed? The road beneath us marks the boundary between 2 central Illinois farming counties. We're 220 miles from Chicago, 100 miles from Champaign, 80 miles from St. Louis, and only a couple miles from 2 major U.S. roads. To the northwest is U.S. Route 66, one of the first American highways, built to let drivers bypass little farming towns. Around here it happens to be the frontage road, or access road, that runs parallel to Interstate 55. If we press our faces to the heat-fogged, northwest-facing windows and look beyond the frontage road, we can see headlights torquing through the heavy blueness on I-55, another bigger highway built in the 70s so that no driver would ever have to slow down in Divernon, Illinois. Divernon, an old coal town. The seam tapped out around 1920. The mine closed, the railroad went out of business, and citizens drained away to other, more prosperous places. By the 90s, so many people had left that it no longer made sense for the town to maintain a high school. In a final humiliation, Divernon began shipping its children to a neighboring district 7 miles west. The market crash of 2008 caused barely a ripple here, because the pond had been drying out for decades. The Obama stimulus bill of 2009 managed to skip across what was left of that pond like a smooth, flat rock. The only thing resembling economic stimulus in this region had come and gone 8 years before, in 2002, when the gruff old man who owned the hardware, beer, auto parts store in nearby Springfield, the capital of Illinois, only 15 miles north of Divernon, hung a closed sign in the window, walked back into the dusty recesses of his shop, and shot himself in the head. When police removed his body and explored the building, they found a stash of strange treasures. A live hand grenade, a loaded 1955 Smith & Wesson .32 pistol, still in its original box, and incredibly, a secret second floor filled with vintage cars and motorcycles, including a 1912 Harley Davidson with an intact carbide headlight. A rumor went around town that Jay Leno, a voracious car collector, had heard about the find and made inquiries. Another rumor had it that David Letterman was going to pay top dollar for the Harley just so he could piss Leno off by destroying it on his show. When the vehicles were eventually put up for auction, 2,000 people registered to bid, and an equal number showed up just to watch. 2 men from Decatur ended up pooling their money to buy the Harley for $80,000. Our driver, Kevin Smith, a chemical engineer, suddenly throttles down. The vehicle judders to a halt. Regen's kicking in, Jen says. Regen is short for regenerative brakes. In an electric vehicle like this one, the regen system traps the energy normally wasted during braking and pumps it back into the battery pack. The sound it makes is distinctive. Not a screech, but sort of a whir, 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 like the sound of Pac-Man getting eaten by a ghost. A smell now fills the cabin, plasticky and coppery, and I noticed Jen making a face. She isn't an engineer like the men in front. She's a graphic designer, a programmer, and a one-time creative writing major. Over the past 4 months, whenever something about this vehicle has confused me, I've gone to Jen for an explanation, because she's sharp and she's funny and she speaks a language I understand. Her role tonight is to pay attention to sounds and smells, every pebble beneath the wheels, every vibration, the smell of 800 pounds of batteries cooking away inches from her right thigh. This is a test drive. Diagnosing problems on cars.